Hello everyone, this is the solution to challenge number 3, sums. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you a solution that I have created using C++, and then we're going to run our program two different ways. One, to check if we get the results we want, and two, to see how this program actually works. So let's go into our file and let me open the sums file or program. So here we have, let's run this down. We've created a function called sum with an integer of n, okay? Then, using conditions, we have a try block. This try block goes from here to here, okay? And then we have a for loop going from 1 to 1,000. And it's always incrementing by I. If this function does not return a true, then throw that number so that it can be caught outside of the try block. Now let's understand what this function is. We have this bool function called sum. Now sum has two integers, the sum, which is set to 0, and the function, func. Now the function is, as we know, n times n plus 1 over 2. Perfect. I'm going to comment this line out, we'll use it later. And function now has the value n times n plus 1 over 2. Be aware that that n value is what we passed in here, which is declared in the for loop using the variable I, or the counter I. So, we have a function, perfect, and then we have this. For integers I equals 0. Now we can create this I variable here because it's only available to use in this function. This I, the variable name, does not get passed into this function, just the value. So if the value is 557, 557 will go into this value, not the name I. So that's why we can use I as a counter. So as I equals 0 and I is less than or equal to n, increment by I. Now, we haven't really talked about creating a variable in a for loop. We will talk about that later on in the next video. This week's video would be pretty short. I need to cover some things with you about that. However, and then we basically add up the sum of all digits going up to n. So it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 ... plus the number n. Okay? And then if we run the function, if we run the if function, and then if we say func is equal to sum, that's going to return a true. And if it's not, it's going to return a false. Now here's the thing. Let's go back up to the main function. This is the main function. If the sum returns a true, that means this is going to say if false. That means that the I will not be thrown. However, if it returns a false because the return true is not being called, that means that this statement is true and it will in fact throw that number I and catch it into the value E. Now that we've explained how we did these kinds of things and how we created the program, let's run it two different ways. I'm gonna run it like normal and see if this phrase popped out. So g++ sum.cpp. Perfect. A.out. All numbers from 1 to 1,000 worked. That's perfect. However, I do want to try and check on that. So, we are going to I apologize. So, we are now going to check every value of n to make sure this function works. We're going to see out n, which is passed in to the function, is works for every number from 1 to 1,000. You'll see a different result, and I'll show you that right now. So if we run this function and we run it, we can see that every single number, 1 worked, 2 worked, 3 worked, 4 worked, blah blah blah, all the way up to 1,000. Now, the reason why these numbers worked popped up is because I added this little cout statement that says if these two are equal, then the number that's in n has worked. You might have different ways of programming this type of program. However, if you have any errors or any questions about this project, please let me know either in the comments or please let me know through one of my social media accounts. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys in the next C++ video.